Good morning. Well, let's take a check of how the equity markets are faring in the middle of the week. It's a good start for the equity markets and they're maintaining the momentum that they've gained so far this week. You have the Nifty 50 that's trading at levels of 16,689, which in itself is an all-time high, about 0.4% higher. You have the broader markets that are also keeping pace. In fact, they're doing a little bit better than the benchmark. You have the mid cap that's gaining about 0.6%. You have the small cap index that's up about 1% or so. And that's an indication of the risk on mood that is pervading global markets right now. You have commodity prices that have risen and that have held on to gains. So that bodes well for the equity markets for now. At least some of that worry of the taper that seems a little bit imminent now from the Federal Reserve is pushed to the back burner, at least till the end of the week. Remember, at the end of the week, Jackson Hole is going to take place, and at that summit, you will have the Federal Reserve Chair Jerome Powell speak, and he will, in all likelihood, talk about inflation. He'll talk about the macroeconomy in the US, and also about the calendar, possibly, and the plans for tapering bond buying by the Federal Reserve. Now, focus back here on India, and you have the IT pack as a whole that's doing particularly well in trade. It's marching higher and it's propelling the Indian benchmarks higher as well. Infosys, of course, one of that pack, now well above the $100 billion mark in terms of market capitalization. You also have the metal pack that is doing quite well. But let's look at the individual names on the Nifty 50, which as said is up as much as 0.3% at this juncture. You have HDFC Life on the top of the list, gaining over 2.5%. Tata Motors as well, gaining over 2.5%. TCS, Hindalco, both gaining over 2%. And then you have the likes of Adani Port, Nestle, Infosys, HCL Tech, all gaining over 1%. Among the losers, and there aren't too many to speak of, and those that are losing aren't losing tremendous amount of ground. You have Dr. Reddy's Laboratories, Divi's Lab, you have Titan, and you have Bajaj Finserv that's cooling off just a tad bit after gaining tremendously in yesterday's session, down about 0.8% right now. Bajaj Finserv, I mean. Bharti Airtel also losing about 0.7% at this point. I was talking about the sectors. You have the Nifty Bank that is flat. Remember, it recovered quite smartly in trade yesterday. Auto is about 0.4% higher. You have FMCG that's about 0.7% higher, also doing quite well for itself. IT higher. I mentioned that. Media is up as much as 0.4% as well. And realty is just about flat in trade. All told, it seems to be a good start to trade. It is likely to bode well for the equity markets. Let's see if we close at another record high. Do stay tuned. Over the course of the day, we'll bring you more live updates on ET Now.